Okay, so you'll notice that we're solving absolute value equations. Okay, who knows what an absolute value is or what it looks like? Or what it means. Okay, I will tell you, I made it all the way through college not knowing what absolute value means. Like, why? I knew what it did, but I didn't know why. I didn't know what it meant. Okay, so I thought that I should definitely tell y'all what it means. So, absolute value means distance from 0. Okay, it means your distance from 0. So I want you to realize, pretend the door is 0. Okay, that's 0 distance at the door. Okay, I'm about 20 foot this direction, right? So we'll say positive 20. What if I go on the other side of the door 20 foot? Isn't it still just 20 foot? Like, do we measure in negatives? No, so that's why absolute values always equal a positive, because it's talking distance. Distance from 0. Does that make sense? And no matter where I'm at, we're 20 foot, I'm 20 foot from you, you're 20 foot from me, but if I went on the other side of you, I'm not negative 20 foot. Does that make sense? So you're still 20 foot. Distance doesn't change just because you move. Okay? So that's why when you find the absolute value of something, it is always a positive. So if this was 0 and I said I'm 5 away from 0, I could be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this direction. But I could also be 5 that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still 5 away, but that says negative 5, right? Well, when you do the absolute value, the distance from 0, it just is positive 5. It's 5 loops away from 0. Okay? Okay, well, same concept here. If I do the absolute value of positive 5, it's just 5. So really what I learned is that absolute values cancel your negative. Because it does. It canceled my negative. It still equals 5. It's just positive 5 now. Right? Okay. So knowing that, looking here, this says equals 5. Well, weren't these both equals 5? Yes? So technically inside can equal negative 5 or 5, right? So once you have your absolute value alone, we're going to write down steps. So step 1, get your absolute value alone. Well, on this side, here's equals 5. Isn't my absolute value already alone? There's no numbers in front of my value, and there's no numbers after. Okay? There's just an equal sign equals 5. So it's already alone. So step 1's already done. So what I'm saying is the inside can equal negative 5. So the inside of my absolute value is 3x minus 2 could equal negative 5, and it would still equal a positive 5, right? Could it also equal a positive 5 and still equal a positive 5? So you rewrite it both ways. And then you solve, because technically there's 2 answers here. Okay? So step 2 is to rewrite equation equaling a positive and negative. So I always say exact and opposite, but only after the equal sign changes. Only after the equal sign changes. It says exact and opposite. Sorry, I was so zoomed out. Okay, I did it in a weird order. I usually write the positive first, the exact. Isn't that exact just without the absolute value of ours? And this is opposite after the equal sign without the absolute value of ours. Okay? So then we solve both of them. And then you're done. That's it. So what do I do here to solve for x? Add 2 to both sides. And I get 3x equals negative 3. Now what? Divide by 3. And I get x equals negative 1. So there's one of my solutions. Okay, so what do I do here? Isn't it the same steps? Yeah, it's the same equation, just equals a positive 5. So I get 3x equals 7. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Does that simplify? No, so I get x equals 7 over 3. Okay, now the way you're going to write your answer is inside fancy brackets. And you always pick your smallest one first. Which one's smallest? -1, comma, 7 over 3. Now, can we check our work? Yeah, okay, I know that a lot of y'all don't ever check your work because it's more work. But y'all, if you can type it in your calculator and you don't have to write anything on your paper, is it really that much more work? No, y'all send like 1 million text messages a day. You can type in your calculator, I promise. Okay, so the way you do this in your calculator is you're going to literally type 3 times one of your x values, 3 times -1 minus 2. Well, that equals -5. Does absolute value of -5 equal 5? So we know we did it right. So then you could do the other number as well. So 3 times 7. You'll just do it as division inside parentheses. Minus 2 equals positive 5. Does the absolute value of 5 equal 5? Yeah, so we did it right. Okay. This one was a simpler one. Some of them get a little more difficult, and that's why checking your work can be so important. So I want you to realize the step 3 is solve both. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay, so this next one is a little different. Why? Yeah, there's 2 absolute values. Okay, so we're going to pretend this one on our left is our main one. So we're going to rewrite exact. 5x plus 3 equals 3x plus 25. We just rewrote it exactly the way it was, right? Without the absolute value bars. So then when we rewrite it, remember the left side always stays the same. Your original stays the same. But the right side is opposite. What's the opposite of positive 3x? And the opposite of positive 25? Now if I solve, it'll be right. So the only thing that changes is after the equal sign. Okay, so how do I solve this left one? Subtract 3x from both sides. Bring down what I haven't messed with. Okay, and now what? Subtract 3 from both sides, and I get 2x equals 22. Divide by 2, divide by 2, I get x equals 11. Okay, any questions with that side? So we do the same thing on this side, except again, we're going to move this 3x, but this time we're going to add it because it's negative. We get 8x plus 3 equals negative 25. Now what? Subtract 3. And I get 8x equals negative 28. Last step. Now, is this going to be pretty? No. Okay, y'all leave it as a fraction. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not going to hurt you, but we're going to simplify the fraction first. Okay, how do y'all simplify? I always look, what did you say? Huh? Division. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I'm terrible at simplifying fractions, y'all, and I'm a math teacher with a math degree, okay? So I don't expect you to be amazing at it, but are these both even numbers? Okay, I always know if they're both even, I can cut them both in half. What's half of 28? So negative 14 over, what's half of 8? 4. Well, again, they're both even, so can I do it one more time? Okay, negative 7 over 2. Now, can I simplify any further, now that it's smaller? No. So if you're like me and you're terrible at it, I promise there's a way to do it. Okay, so let's put it inside fancy brackets and be done. So negative 7 over 2 comma 11. Now, just to show you quickly how you can check your work in the calculator with this problem is you're literally just going to type it in both sides. So 5 times, we'll do 11, plus 3 is 58. So now type it in the other side. 3 times 11 plus 25. Did they equal the same thing? They both equal positive 58, so I know I did it right. So you'll just have to type it in both sides. Okay? Any questions on this one? Okay, the next one is my favorite one. Are you ready? It's so much work. I'm just kidding. It's not any work, actually. Okay, can an absolute value ever equal a negative? No, because distance is never negative. So what's my answer here? No solution. It's not possible. See? Now do you see why they're my favorite? Anytime it equals a negative and your absolute value is by itself, you have to check that your absolute value is by itself first before you say no solution, okay? So, okay. So number 4, is my absolute value by itself? No. So this is my absolute value, 2x minus 3. And I don't have it by itself. What else is on that side of the equal sign with it? A negative 4 and a 6. What do I need to get rid of first? Actually, the 6. Because isn't that multiplying? And when we're trying to get something alone, don't we always get rid of addition and subtraction first? Okay, so that cancels, and I get negative 4, absolute value of 2x minus 3 equals negative 4. Now what? It is multiplying, so how do I get rid of multiplication? We don't want to multiply it. We want to get rid of it. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4, and I get the absolute value of 2x minus 3 equals positive 1. Now, does it equal a positive? Yes, so we keep going. Okay, so remember, the first time we write it exact, 2x minus 3 equals 1 without the bars. Okay, and the second time, 2x minus 3 equals negative 1. We write it opposite after the equal sign. And then we solve. How do we solve these? Add 3 to both sides. You get 2x equals 4. Now what? So there's one of them. Okay, now what do I do on this side? Add 3 again. Remember, it's the same steps. 2x equals 2. Divide by 2. I get x equals 1. Any questions, comments, concerns?
It doesn't matter which order we put the numbers in?
It should be like smallest to biggest. Okay, you are working on your practice problems. There's only 6 of them. Okay, and they are due by Friday.